Hello everyone, this hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series. We're working on the last class, our case study in how to talk about success. We're going to be putting together everything we've learned into one realistic simulation of something you might have to deal with at work. We'll be talking more about that in just a minute. First, a little bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. Here are 3 quick rules to help you participate in my class. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means when you're not speaking, turn off your microphone so we can keep the classroom quiet. When you are speaking, tune into the new words that you learned, use them actively so I can give you corrections. And finally, open up to your classmates. Just relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is a little bit about me. Let me say a quick hello to all of you before we begin, in case there's anyone I don't know. So, welcome back, Jason, of course. Nice to have you.
Hello.
Hello. And let's say hello to new faces. Axel, I definitely have never seen you here before.
Yeah, it's my first time.
Where are you from, Axel?
Yeah, I'm from Spain.
From Spain, okay. Not so far away from me.
Yeah.
And let's say hello to Nora. Hello, Nora.
Hi. Hi, can you hear me?
Sorry, my microphone was off. Sorry. Where are you from, Nora?
God bless you. I'm from Saudi Arabia.
From Saudi Arabia, okay. You've been here before, haven't you?
No, that's my first time in one of your classes.
Yeah? Oh, okay. I thought I remembered you. Did you hear me sneezing, by the way? I tried to turn off the microphone.
No, I just saw you. That's why I figured that.
Oh, okay. I tried to turn it off so I wouldn't blow out anyone's speakers. I tried my best. All right. And welcome back, Ishmael and Giuseppe. Nice to have you. Okay. I've given you a link to the material. Give me just a second here. I've given you a link to the material in the chat window. But here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to share my screen with you, of course. But our presentation is here. And I'm going to put the notes as well here. I haven't been using the notes so much recently. But if we have corrections and feedback, I'll try to put them there. Okay? And let me just quickly open the presentation on my computer. It's a little easier if I open it as a PDF rather than try to share my browser with you. So give me just a second to do that. I didn't get a chance to do it. Oh, wait, here it is. I found it. Give me just a second to open this up. Okay, there we go. So let me share my screen and we'll jump right into the class. In the previous classes, wait, let me get my screen share working. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So, as a quick reminder, in the previous classes, we've used language to talk about achievements and failures. We've used key expressions to report back on the success or failure of a project. In this case, it was about evaluating some fact-finding kind of market research. We've learned some expressions for generalizing. So if we're in the meeting giving feedback about some of our market research, we have a few good key expressions to talk about the end result in general, things like that. Finally, we did 2 classes on contrasting language. Words that are synonymous with but. We'll call them but words. Although, in spite of, despite, those kind of things. What we're going to do today is put all of that together into one big situation where we try to use those key expressions. Give me just a second here. Yeah. You'll notice on the last page, I always put the major key expressions that we've been working on. So in slide 12, the last page of the PDF or the presentation, page 12, slide 12, Some of the key expressions that you should be using actively are on this page. So refer to that whenever you can. I'll try to share my screen with you as well. In the homeworks that I've given you throughout the lessons in the past week and a half, you've got all of the key vocabulary. So if you have those, even if you haven't done them, but if you have them, you can keep them open somewhere and refer to them. But I'll try to give you some help as we do the class as well, to try to remind you of those key expressions and vocabulary. Okay? Yesterday, we read this expert view from a specialist in the field. Then we read our case study. Today we're going to have our business meeting. Does anyone recall what the expert view was trying to tell us when we deal with when we're dealing with a new market? If we're trying to, I don't know, if we're trying to be successful in a market, does anyone recall? Because I think some of you were here. Yeah, Giuseppe, you were here. Ishmael, you were here. Jason, I don't remember if you were here yesterday or not. You've been here, but I don't think you were here yesterday. Does anyone remember the gist of our expert view? Because it's something we need to keep in mind as we do our task today.
Well, the general idea, or the main idea, is to diverse the market, the needs of the customers, because there are different customers, and then a company, in order to be successful,
right,
should be provide a significant variety of products.
Okay, and just products? Right.
Products?
And just products?
No.
Go ahead, Ishmael. What were you going to say?
We should concentrate on the needs of the customer also.
Okay. So how could we do that in ways that are different than just the products? Giuseppe's got a good point. Have a nice, diverse portfolio of products and maybe services. And what else, Ishmael?
On market research.
On market research as well. On marketing, even. So one of the suggestions that we saw was to focus not just on the product, but on everything about it, even the launching of the product and the marketing. Okay. We looked at a timeline yesterday of this company, Cafe Direct. There's the timeline we saw yesterday. We saw the various strategies that Cafe Direct adopted that made it successful, at least in that 10-15 year period. We saw that for example, I'll give you one detail. If there's anything else that you remember from yesterday, okay, we can talk about it as well. But for example, the one we talked about the most probably was that it went public in 2004. Oops, hold on 1 second here. Sorry about that. That was my doorbell. They went public. So prior to that, in 2004, they were growing. Does anyone recall some of the ways that some of the strategies they adopted to grow as a company before going public? Just out of curiosity.
Have a new partnership and makes franchising all the franchising, and then a big distribution, promoting the products.
Instead of having a new partnership, we might say partnering.
Partnering. Right.
Whom did they partner with? For people who weren't here, Giuseppe, whom did they partner with?
With Costa coffee shops.
Okay, so they had a partnership there, absolutely, with Costa. So that means that they had a retail venue. A retail venue. Retail means B2C, direct to the customer, business to customer.
Supermarkets, maybe.
Absolutely. That was the franchising, I think, that Giuseppe was mentioning. Go ahead, Ishmael. What are you going to say about the supermarkets? What advantage did that give them, Ishmael? In your opinion, what was the advantage there?
Supermarkets.
Yeah. How was that an advantage for them?
They are going to increase their market share. making some new contract with new supermarket chain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. Ishmael, we are now going to ban the present continuous. You can no
Okay.
longer use it. Never, ever again.
Okay.
Instead of saying they are going to,
I always.
you need to say they would. They would increase their market share.
Yes.
Is that clear? Is that clear why you would say they would instead of they are going to? Is it clear? Because I
Yes.
can. Okay, fine. Here's what I want you to keep in mind. If it's a single action, they increased. If it's a repeated action, they would increase. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fine. Because it's not obvious. That's why I'm asking. It's not an obvious correction. Okay? But I'll try to help you keep that in mind as well. So in English, whenever there's a repeated action in the past, over a period of time, something that's normal, habitual, something where we might say used to do, we can always express that with would, just so that that's clear what I'm trying to correct you on. Okay, very good. So those were two key strategies. First, increasing their market share by getting involved with a supermarket chain to have big distribution. Absolutely. Also partnering with a cafe. Let's think about those strategies for a moment. What we're going to do, whoops, let me change the page here. Okay, we are going to have a business meeting. We work for a British company. Jason, do you think you could read the task for us rather than me talking to you? You read the task for us and let's find out what we have to do.
You work for a British company which imports high-quality tea from India and sells it to supermarket chains and specialist retailers in the UK. Recently, you have been losing sales.
Right. Repeat after me. High quality.
High quality.
Right. Quality. Quality.
Quality.
It's got an extra little vowel in there, which is not obvious. All right. So these are retailers. As I said before, that's direct to the customer. And we're losing sales. Okay, the actual task is below in part 1. It says work in groups of up to 4. Well, I don't know if we can do that in the Hangout, so we'll figure out how we're going to divide the class. Each person in your group has been given a fact-finding mission to find out about the reasons for the loss of sales. So this is a little bit of market research here. Not finding out about the market, but finding out why you're losing your advantage in the market. So we're a British company. We're not Cafe Direct. We're a different company. Read the details of your mission and prepare for the meeting with your group. Okay. So let's see. We've got 2, 4, 6. Let's divide it up. Maybe we can sort of divide it up in partners here. I've given you each of those case study files in the next pages of the slide. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask maybe Axel and Giuseppe. I'd like you to study file 16, which is on page 8. Okay? So, in other words, imagine we've all done research. And now, today, we're going to have a meeting where we talk about our individual research efforts. We're going to talk about what we've discovered. Okay, so Axel and Giuseppe, I'd like you to study file 16. This was the result of your fact-finding mission. Ishmael and Jason, I'd like you to focus on file 25, which is on slide 9 of the presentation. And Nora and Yuki, I'd like you to focus on slide 41, which is on file 41, which is on slide 10. So there's not a lot of information here. Okay, so it shouldn't take too long to read it over. What else? Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I'm not going to share my screen for these slides, so I'd like you to use the link if you want to have these up close. Use the link that I posted for you in the chat window. We're going to have our meeting, and I guess for this one, I'll sort of run the meeting, and you in your group present the findings, and ask follow-up questions about the other people in the meeting once they present their findings. Our goal, well, I'll give the agenda in just a minute. Everyone, how long do you think it'll take to read through your file? How much time?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Really? That long? Oh my God.
Okay, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. 3 minutes is okay. So read through your file. If there's any questions about where to get the material, if you don't see the link, just let me know. Okay? So we'll start our meeting in 3 minutes from now. In case anyone doesn't have the link, I'll post it as well in the chat, in the group chat inside the Hangout if you need it. Okay, how are we doing? Are we ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Yeah? All right. So let's get started then. Let's go back to our agenda here. I'll tell you what, I'll present the agenda because I think all of you have enough to do just reporting back on your fact-finding mission. Remember, don't forget, I want you to refer always to slide 12 and use those key expressions during the meeting. Asking for feedback, asking for justification, emphasizing, introducing feedback. Okay, I want you to make a conscious effort to use those expressions specifically during the meeting. So, here we go. Okay, thanks for coming to the meeting, everyone. I'd like to, as you know, we've all done some fact-finding and market research to figure out some sort of cause for the loss in our sales figures, as well as suggesting some action that we can take to stop it and maybe even to reverse the trend. So this is quite an important meeting. I'd like to just present the agenda for the meeting before we begin. So we're going to start off by taking turns reporting back on the research and some of the conclusions that we've come to. We're going to, as a group, discuss concerns that we might have about the issues that are raised in other people's findings, because we're all picking up different puzzle pieces. So to get the big picture, we need to discuss whatever comes up in each individual presentation. And finally, as a group, we need to decide on the next step. What action can we take to reverse this trend, or at the very least, stop the loss of sales? Okay? So maybe we could start with our first group. If I'm not mistaken, Giuseppe and Axel. Well, let's do this. I'll ask one person, I'll ask both of you to speak, But Giuseppe, you've been here before, so maybe I'll ask you to start. What was the market research that you were involved in, you and Axel?
Well, we start to make a research, a market research in
Make
local
or do?
We start to do
Right.
a market research in local supermarket because we face a loss in selling tea, and as a result, according to the survey, we had a lot of trouble. We faced a lot. We faced a lot of issues because some customers don't ever drink tea, or some customer didn't know exactly our trademark, or because they think about, or because they thought that the price is too high.
Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. So let me ask Axel. So you were with Giuseppe on this fact-finding mission, right? First, let me ask you: is there anything that you would add to that basic idea? Let me see as well if I understand exactly. You tell me if I'm right about this. So the basic idea is that the brand identity wasn't really very clear. That people didn't really know the brand. Is that right, Axel? That was the main problem you found?
Yeah, because many customers didn't even have seen the brand in the supermarket before.
I see. So brand recognition then. Okay. And so, what was I going to say? Okay. So Axel, I'd like you to tell us what's the takeaway from your fact-finding mission. When I say takeaway, that's basically the result or the conclusion that you and your partner have reached. What's the takeaway for us? What should we keep in mind from this?
We think the next step is to persuade supermarkets to make tea more prominent on the shelves, and also.
Okay, very. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
And also make special deals.
Make special deals. Okay. Giuseppe, what's a special deal that you think would be a good idea? Do you have any ideas in mind now, or is it something that we need to discuss as a group?
Well, I think we should promote our products, and then the tea, promoting a special price for our tea, and then take one package and one package free.
A kind of buy one get one free offer.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so that would be a good incentive, right? It would be a good incentive. Axel, earlier in this How to Talk About Success unit, we looked at generalizing words. Okay? So I'd like you to repeat your conclusion, but I want you to use one of those key expressions that we used for generalizing. The problem is that you might not have been in the class when we did it. So what I'd like you to do then is, let's see if we can do this. Giuseppe, what's something that he could have said to give his general impression? What are some of the key expressions that we learned? Do you remember?
From
generalizing. Yeah, do you remember some of the key expressions we looked at for generalizing?
Generalizing.
You remember? Or anyone in the class, doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be Giuseppe. What are some key expressions we learned earlier in the unit for generalizing, for making a generalization? Does anyone remember?
In general.
In general, right? Overall, right?
Overall.
Anything else?
Conclusion.
In conclusion, it's not generalizing. That's concluding.
Yes.
In particular.
When we look, generally speaking, right?
Generally speaking.
On the whole.
On the whole, very good. So, Axel, I know you weren't there in that class, but let's do this. I'd like you to rephrase your conclusion, and I'd like you to use some of those expressions, and I'll put them on the screen for you as well. Okay? Here they are in an earlier slide. So I'd like you to rephrase what you said, but I'd like you to use one or more of these generalizing expressions to do so, because it'll sound a lot better. So let me ask you the question again, Axel. Axel, what's the takeaway from your fact-finding mission?
Mainly, we need to persuade supermarkets to make tea more prominent on the shelves.
There you go. Perfect. Mainly, we need to persuade them to make it more prominent. Okay, very good. And we've got already one suggestion of how to do that from Giuseppe. Very good. Okay, so now everyone, you've seen more or less how we're going to do this. Oh, I can't turn off my screen. Whoop, give me a second. You've seen more or less how we're going to do this. One partner is going to give us the overview of what the fact-finding mission did. The other person is going to give us the conclusion using a generalizing statement, and then we'll come together at the end and have a meeting and decide what action to take. Okay? So let's go to the next group, which was Ishmael and Jason. Okay? Well, Ishmael, why don't you be the first person and give us the general idea about the fact-finding mission, and Jason, you give us the conclusion.
Okay.
Okay. So what was your fact-finding mission, Ishmael?
We try to find the cause of the decreasing of company sales in continental Europe, especially.
And how did it go? How did your fact-finding mission go in general?
We did some research, and we analyzed some data and tried to find out what is the cause of this problem.
We tried to find out what the cause was. Repeat, what the cause was.
We tried to find out what the cause was.
Right. Found out is a reported speech word. You're reporting an action. So it's got to stay in the past. We tried to find out what the cause was. Well, could you fill us in on what the actual research, what was the research that you did exactly? Did you do interviews? What was it?
No, we didn't interview. We get some data and try to extract some statistics from this data on the computer, maybe.
All right. So, why don't you fill this in on some of the results then? Okay, you give us some of the results, and Jason will give us the conclusion, what we should take away from those results. So, were there any surprises?
Yes.
Ishmael, were there any surprises?
Yes, there were many surprises on the results. In general, people who lives on the continental Europe don't like to drink tea because they like drinking coffee and different types of herbal tea. And we did a campaign before 2 years. It was a flop.
It was a flop. That's one of our failure words. It was a flop.
It was a flop, and it was very expensive with bad results.
Okay. So Ishmael, I'd like you to use one of the emphasizing expressions to give us your opinion about either of those results. You'll notice this underlines the importance of, this highlights the need to. So before Jason gives us the conclusion, I'd like you to emphasize one of the points that you think is the most important from your fact-finding mission or from your market research. Do you see the key expressions there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so give us one of the main points.
This highlights the need to do successful campaign again on the continental Europe and on the UK.
Okay, it highlights the need to have a very strong, successful campaign. Okay, because the marketing was really weak before. Okay, very good. I agree. And Jason, I'd like you to go back to those generalizing statements to introduce the takeaway, the conclusion. Okay? If you like, I can put them on screen for you again. But in other words, I want you to use these. I want you to use this stuff very proactively. Okay? So Jason, where does this leave us with your fact-finding mission? Where does this leave us? Where does this leave us with what we ought to act on? What should we keep in mind as we decide what to do, Jason?
So what we can take away from the research.
Don't forget, use one of these key expressions on screen.
Yeah. Overall,
right.
We should get another direction to the marketing, which by
so overall
launching,
we should go into a new direction in the marketing. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. And especially we need to launch a new market, a new campaign to get a better sales figure. And
okay, good, Jason. Wait. I want you to look at the key expressions for identifying future action in the bottom right side. I would like you to say that part again, but I'd like you to begin with one of these key expressions, if you could. Do you see them at the bottom right?
Yeah. Not forget. We should.
I just want you to rephrase what you just said. Yeah.
Okay. What we need to know is to keep in our mind the importance of the continental market by launching a new campaign for the continental market, and obviously we need to concentrate on the we need to stay focused on the UK market, because it remains the main market for the company.
Oh, I see. So you mean if we focus too much on the continental market, it'll be kind of a distraction because it's not going to be as lucrative as the UK market.
Yeah.
It might be a distraction for us. Is that it? Okay, very good. Good use of the key expressions as well. Okay, very good. So let's hear from our last group. I'll get my slide back on the screen now. This was Yuki and Nora. Okay, so Yuki, you give us the overview of what your fact-finding mission was.
Yes.
Nora, you're going to give us the final conclusion, and we've got a new person, Vincent. Vincent, you can follow along from now, but I'll give you something to report back on as well. But just follow along for now. Okay, you give us the general idea. What was your market research like?
Well,
Let me rephrase the question. I'm sorry. I meant to ask, how did it go? And I want you to use those key expressions, right? Giving a general evaluation first. So don't forget about those key expressions on the last page of the slide, page 12. So start with giving a general evaluation. So how did it go, Yuki?
well, sorry. Our trip. Sorry. Our first finding trip went successful because we couldn't. It was very useful because we could find out some kind of reason of our unsuccessful selling recent years. There.
Okay, stop there for a second. Stop there for a second. Hold on. I want you to say that again, but I want you specifically to use giving a general evaluation key expressions. Okay? So just rephrase what you said, but start with one of these. It'll sound better.
Okay.
So let me ask the question again. How did your market research go?
It could have. It was what I expected.
It was what you expected. Is that it?
It was what I expected.
Oh, okay. Tell us more.
We could find out the reason of our weak sales recent years there.
Okay.
We found that competitor competitors. We visited Tea Trade Fair and we found that competitor offered there a wider range of products, including popular fruit teas. That is what our company have a weak point.
That is where our company has a weak point.
That is where our company to weak point.
Has a weak point. And look, Yuki, go back to emphasizing. I want you to say that again, but use one of these emphasizing expressions. Rephrase that.
This underlines the importance of a need to evolve, create new products.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It underlines the need to evolve, to diversify the product line, because the competitors have a wide range of products and we don't.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Very good, very good. And Nora, what's the takeaway from this? Okay, I want you to go back and use one of those generalizing expressions when you begin. So take a look here, no, here. Okay. So what's the takeaway from your fact-finding mission, you and Yuki?
Can I repeat some of the things that he said?
It's on the screen. Can you see?
Yeah, I see it. Okay, generally, after doing our research,
what's the conclusion?
Yeah, let me fill you in on the conclusion of our research.
Good, okay.
Yeah, the research underlines the importance of being competitive. Okay, and what we need to do is to evolve and create new products, appeal to the serious tea drinker.
So right
Yeah.
now, so what you're saying is right now, the product doesn't, it's not, I don't know what's the word, it's not specific enough to the kind of customer that we have. Is that what you mean? It's got to be much more to their taste. Is that the
Yeah.
idea?
The main idea is to have more diversity in our products because competitors offer wide range of products, including popular fruit teas. So this highlights the need to be more diverse, to be more competitive, and evolve, to be creative about creating new products.
Okay, very good. Very good. Good use of key expressions too. Vincent, are you there? Vincent? Paul? No? Oh, well, he doesn't have his mic on, I think. Vincent Paul, if you get your mic on, I can give you something to present as well. Okay, as a group, we need to decide on some action. So that means that you need to be asking questions to each other because we all have different conclusions. So Yuki and Nora seem to feel that diversification is the only way we can move forward because we're not really being very competitive. Jason and Ishmael. Jason, I forgot. What was your point again? Because I lost my train of thought. What was your conclusion? I forgot.
We need to launch a new campaign and
okay.
to
The
stay
marketing
focused.
was weak. And to stay focused on the UK, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And Giuseppe and Axel, remind me of I think Axel, you were one giving us the conclusion, right? So remind us about your conclusion.
We need to make special deals and persuade supermarkets to make tea more prominent.
Okay, because there's not enough recognition, brand recognition out in the field. All right. Well, as you know, as I mentioned earlier, we need to end the meeting with some kind of an action plan. We need to decide on future action. So I need to know what the next step is. We've got 3 basic approaches, and I'll take questions or comments from any of you to decide. Basically, we need to decide on one action as a group. Nora, I'm sorry, were you speaking?
No, just finish what you're saying.
No, just that. I'm just saying. So go ahead. What's your suggestion?
I just was asking the group number A. They were saying that many customers have never seen this brand in the supermarket before.
Right.
I'm asking you, group A, what makes you say that? How do you know?
Good question. So group A, Giuseppe and Axel.
I think we should focus on promoting our products, offer special deals, and to lower the price of our products.
But hang on a second. I don't know if we're answering Nora's question. Nora, can you repeat your question again?
Okay, you were saying that many customers, in your results of the research, you said that many customers have never seen this brand in the supermarket before. What makes you say that? How do you know?
That's a very good question. What were some of the clues that there wasn't enough brand recognition? Remember, you have to be creative when you answer. We don't have all the details, but give us an idea of what makes you say that. Axel, how would you respond to that question?
Well, we made a survey, so if people answer us that they didn't recognize the brand, it's because they haven't seen it. Yeah?
And so, do you agree with your partner that changing the price will increase the brand recognition? Axel, do you agree with Giuseppe on that?
Yeah, but we also need to be in more supermarkets than we are now.
I see.
We need to be in more places.
Absolutely. So Giuseppe, how do you suggest remedying that situation that your partner is saying? Because it's a good point. What action should we take?
Okay.
Because he's saying we need to be in more supermarkets. So what can we do about that?
Of course, we need partnering. We absolutely need new partner and.
Wait. We absolutely need to partner. We absolutely need to
partner.
With whom?
With whom promote our products.
And anyone specific you have in mind? Or any type of business?
Markets,
more supermarkets?
Store, grocery store, and so on.
Axel, do you agree? Link up with more supermarkets and store specific, or do you have another kind of partnership in mind? Do you agree with partnering?
Yeah, but we could also sponsor a soccer team or something like that.
Hey, there's an idea. There you go. Get Arsenal to drink your tea, right?
Yeah, maybe not a Premier League team because should be too expensive. But
okay, that's right. You're probably gonna have to pay for them. Okay, so you're talking more about sponsorship than partnership, aren't you? Sponsoring a sports team, is that right?
Yeah, it's a good way to make your brand more recognizable.
Absolutely, to make your brand more recognizable. Very good. Ishmael and Jason, what's your reaction to that strategy from Axel and Giuseppe? First, give me your impressions. If there's any questions, ask. And then how does that fit in with your idea about how to move forward? So first, any general impressions? Team 2, Jason and Ishmael. First, what do you think about that sponsorship?
Sponsorship is a good way to make a promotion and to be well known among people who usually buy tea. It's about tea or electronics.
Yeah. So do you think that could solve? I mean, how does that fit in with your idea? Because you said we need to focus on the UK market. So does that basically, do we kill two birds with one stone in that case? Because basically we could sponsor a UK team inside of the UK system. So do you think that would solve our problem, Jason?
Yes, if we apply this in our business, I think if the customer has needs, they will buy products. Yes, maybe it could work in our case. Yes.
All right, and Ishmael, you were saying that the marketing campaign itself was a problem, right?
The marketing campaign before 2 years was a flop.
Was a big flop, absolutely.
Yes.
So do you think that sponsoring a sports team is enough of a solution? I mean, that is a kind of marketing. Or do you think we need to put more resources into marketing itself?
Jon-Eric, there is a problem. Nobody knows the brand.
The brand is Verbling Tea. It's the best tea on the market. Verbling Tea.
But
Yum.
we should do something. One way is maybe sponsoring some sports clubs, or the other way is I am more close to this way is organizing a new campaign and making some new advertisement across to Europe, across to continental Europe and across to UK.
Well, but your partner would disagree with that, right, Jason? Am I wrong about that?
Uh,
Because he's saying going across Europe.
yes, but yes, because we need to launch. We needed to launch a new campaign, but with different products, because in the past the customer didn't want to buy the to buy to buy to buy
What, the regular product, the regular tea? Is that it?
yes, they didn't want to buy it, and now we need to launch a new campaign to sell other products, and this marketing campaign will serve to us to discover the new needs of the customer in continental Europe.
So I'm not sure that we have one clear action plan. We've got lots of ideas, though. We've got lots of ideas. Look, we're running out of time, so we're really out of time. So Nora and Yuki, last comments go to you.
Yes.
Okay? Let's see if you can save the day and give us one action plan, because I'm a bit confused. We got sponsorships on the table. We've got new marketing campaigns. It sounds like we need to focus more on the UK because that's kind of the customer base, but also branching out to the continental Europe market. That's been put out there as well, maybe by changing. So yeah, we really have a big mixed bag of next steps. What do you think the next step is, Nora?
Generally, I think all of the research findings are very useful. But at the meanwhile, I think what we need to do is focusing on the inside, on our products, evolving and creating new products. Then I think from there we can move forward to campaigns and marketing and etc.
You've done this before, Nora.
Then what?
You've done this before, haven't you?
Then what?
Done launching a product.
No, but I've studied management.
Oh, I see. Yes, you sound much more confident than the rest of us. You just convinced me.
Thank you. That's a compliment. Thank you.
Yuki, what do
yes.
you think? What do you think about what your partner is saying there? She seems to have a good plan.
I was quite impressed with these ideas. Of course, sponsorship and big campaign it's a good way to promote our sales. But what we need to do now is to be competitive. As a survey of Group C shows that other competitors offers a wide range of products. They are quite attractive. So we have to evolve, create new products. That's a vital issue for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that seems like a pretty convincing argument from Group C. How can we argue with starting with the product itself? Maybe picking up what Group B said as well, diversifying a bit, because perhaps the domestic market is looking for something much more specific to their tastes, and maybe we weren't really meeting that target that they're setting for us. Maybe we weren't recognizing that. So, I don't know, it sounds pretty good. Sponsorship and the other strategies, they're good as well, but maybe they could be in a later stage. Well, we have to stop. We're running out of time. As always, I'll give you a chance to practice this on your own. What I'd like you to do, if you feel like it, it's entirely up to you, is I'd like you to write up the findings from your group. They can be your personal opinion. The findings can be your personal opinion. They can be a consensus of the group, or you can disagree. Basically, imagine that you have to write a formal email to your supervisor explaining the final takeaway from the meeting. In other words, what did we decide to do and why did we decide to do it in your opinion? So if you'd like to write that, you can send it to me through the message service at Verbling. I'll correct it and send it back. It takes me a while to correct things because I have a lot of classes, but at some point in the weekend I'll get it done and send it back to you. Okay? So I'll send you a reminder through the message service about what to do. Make sure that you're using those key expressions specifically on slide 12 whenever you can. And in the previous classes, if you look at the homework, specifically the presentation for the homework, you have the vocabulary that we've used. So it might be a good idea to have those two things out if you're going to write your email. Homeworks 1, 2, and 3, and the key expressions on slide 12 of this presentation. Okay? Send me your final suggestions. I'll correct it and send it back. Okay. Well, it was fun. I hope you learned a little bit more about how to talk about success, how to talk about failure. Hopefully you don't have to deal with failure, but you know how to describe it. Okay? Send me the homework if you like. In our next class, which will either be tomorrow or Monday, I'm not sure. Tomorrow we might change the schedule a little bit. We're going to be going up a level. So we have concluded the intermediate level in the European system, B1. We're going to be moving up to B2. B2 is more challenging, a lot more specific vocabulary. Okay, so much more nuance and new expressions. Okay, so I don't know. Check the schedule. I might be changing the class tomorrow because we have a hot topics class, so we might extend it. But if it's not tomorrow, it'll be Monday at the same time. Okay, have a great weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow, send me the homework if you like. Bye for now, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Bye
Bye-bye.
for now.
Thank you. Thank you for the class. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.